Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripaya Valakana Kara Ami Vajan Dukhi.
Je crois qu'on vous le traduira. Ici, nous sommes habitués à recevoir les délégués des puissants. Et c'est une satisfaction pour la ville de Paris de recevoir un délégué des spirituels. À première vue, nous n'avons pas tellement coutume d'inviter des chefs de religion ou des animateurs spirituels, mais je pense qu'en vous recevant, nous réparons une lacune parce que il n'y a sans doute pas de pouvoir temporel qui n'ait à se préoccuper du spirituel et d'une quelconque façon de l'éternel. Il n'y a pas de pouvoir temporel qui ne relève d'une philosophie. Et nous sommes heureux de vous accueillir ici, vous, le représentant, le premier à l'heure actuelle de la conscience de Krishna, parce que l'Inde et tous les phénomènes spirituels qui se passent en Inde ont toujours excité la curiosité et l'admiration des Occidentaux. Et je crois que nous pouvons nous donner la main de plusieurs manières, encore que nous ayons une petite tendance ici à avoir une sorte de complexe d'infériorité en matière spirituelle. On dit volontiers que l'Occident a maîtrisé le monde, que l'Occident représente la victoire du matérialisme et qu'en Orient, les valeurs spirituelles sont au premier rang. Eh bien, je l'assume pour l'Orient, je le crois pour l'Orient, et je pense que l'Inde, d'une part, et le mouvement spirituel que vous représentez de l'autre, donnent la preuve.
I thank you very much for your kind invitation. Spiritual value, you have spoken very nicely about the spiritual value of living entity. Actually, we are all spiritual entities. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Dehi nasmin jatha dehe kaumarang jaubanang jara tatha dehantaram prapti dhirastatta namayati. This is in Sanskrit. It is said that within the body there is the proprietor of the body. The proprietor of the body is there within the body, but the body is changing from babyhood to childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youthhood. Similarly, aged man, the body is changing. As we are experiencing different changes of the body, similarly, when this body will no longer exist, I or you, every one of us, will accept another body. I can remember, you can remember your childhood body, your boyhood body, but those bodies are no longer existing, but I remember, you remember. Similarly, when I give up this body, I accept another body. It may not be I remembering it, but that's a fact. But the spirit soul, the proprietor of the body, is described Nitya sasatoyang nahannate hannamane sarire. The spirit soul is eternal. It does not annihilate after the destruction of the body. We have got two bodies, just like coat and shirt. The coating body is made of 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, sky. And the subtle body is made of mind, intelligence and ego. So when the gross body is finished, we remain within the subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego. So as the air carries the flavor, similarly the mind, intelligence carries the soul to another gross body. There are 8,400,000 forms of bodies. Some of them are aquatics, some of them are trees, some of them are plants, some of them are insects, some of them are birds, some of them are beasts, and at last the human body is obtained. Therefore, human form of body is the nature's best gift to the living entity, entangled in repetition of birth and death. So, in the human form of body, we can understand our real constitutional position. So, if the leaders of the human society do not give education to the human society, how the spirit soul can get out of the clutches of birth, death, old age and disease. You have rightly said that Indian sages and great personalities, they specifically cultivated this knowledge how the living entity encased in this material body can be liberated. Therefore, to give education to the human society, how he can get out of this entanglement of birth, death, old and disease is the best welfare activity. We can remember the history in your country. There was great Napoleon. In other countries also there are many big heroes. They constructed their country very nicely, but at last they had to leave the country. So whatever we create materially with this material body in this life, along with my giving up this body, I have to give up everything. And after this, I have to accept another body. We do not know what kind of body I am going to accept. But suppose I am going to accept a lower grade of body, less than human being, then what is my condition? My love of country may give me another body in this country or in my country. But if I am not well situated, suppose if I get the body of an animal like cow, I shall be sent to the slaughterhouse. Therefore, in the Vedic literature, it is said, Parabhavastavad abodhajata javanna jigyasata atmatattam, means a person, unless he is interested in his spiritual identity, whatever he is doing, he is simply being defeated. So this Krishna consciousness movement is to save the human being from repeatedly being defeated by the laws of nature. So, I know your country has a great history behind you. You are very cultured and enlightened people. We admire the French people from India. I have come to your country to spread the spiritual knowledge. If you cooperate with us, we'll get great facility to preach this cult. Do not misunderstand us that we are a sect of religious people. We are spreading this knowledge from the spiritual platform. We accept God is the father of all living entities, never mind in whatever form he is staying. We are teaching people to forget his outward dress, bodily concept of life. Let everyone realize that he is Brahma or spiritual identity. It is said, when one realizes his Brahma identity, Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankhati samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labati para, means when one is Brahma realized, he understands his spiritual identity, then he becomes immediately joyful. The symptom of joyfulness means no lamentation, no hankering, equal vision to all living entities. And then he is elevated to the platform of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Equality, fraternity can be realized only on the spiritual platform, not on the material platform. The United Nations have tried for the last 25 years to unite people. Unfortunately, the disunited flags are increasing. So this Krishna consciousness movement is a very important movement, scientific movement. We invite all scientists, philosophers, thinkers to understand this movement. It is very essential at the present moment for the human society. I invite herein, in this hall, some of you may come personally, talk with me about this important scientific movement, and if possible, kindly cooperate with us. I thank you very much for your giving time to hear me. What are these different species of life?
They do not accept that the soul exists below the human level.
And that is their foolishness. Is their foolishness. Why does not exist? What is the proof of existence of the soul in the body? What is the proof? First of all, you have to understand that. Suppose I am a human being. So,
you know where to go? Vous connaissez l'adresse?
I am a human being. You accept that I have a soul. By what symptoms you accept that I have a soul? First of all, we have to ascertain that. What is the symptom that we agree that I am human being, I am a soul? By what characteristic, analytical study, you accept that I have got soul and the dog has not got soul? What are these different characteristics? First of all, we have to enumerate that thing. If we find in the characteristics, then we can say there is no soul. But if we see both the animal and the human being have the same characteristics of living condition, then how you can say the animal has not soul?
His point was that the animals don't show the same symptoms. They don't think as
Why not? Why not? The general symptom is animal eats, you eat. Animal sleeps, you sleep. Animal has sex, you have got sex. Animal also defends, you also defend. Where is the difference?
Well, his point was that human beings, they think on higher platforms than animals.
What that are higher platform? Eating, you require to maintain the body. I eat something, you eat another. That does not mean higher or lower. You eat, I also eat. That's all. You eat according to your taste, I eat according to my taste. So the eating is the real symptom, not the varieties of eating. By varieties of eating, Suppose an animal, the cow, is eating grass, and you are eating the same animal by keeping a huge slaughterhouse with machines. Does it mean that you have improved your eating process? Simply by having big machines and ghastly scenes, and the animal eats simple grass, does it mean that you are advanced than the animal? There is no logic. Eating is eating. One man's food, another man's poison. That is another thing. But eating is there. Somebody is poison, somebody is ordinary. But eating is there. Nobody can avoid eating. That is the main symptom. Even in human society, there are different varieties of food. We Indians, we like a different type of dish. European, Americans, they like different type. But eating is there. Either American, Indian, or cat, dog. Eating must be there. That is real symptom. After eating, you must sleep. That is a symptom. So, where is the difference of real characteristics between the animals and the
Then his point was that we find that God's creatures, many of them, not just human beings, but it's a symptom of life everywhere, that meat eating is allowed. There are many creations that many...
That's all right. Meat eating, that is another... First of all, the point is that you say that the animals have no soul. So what is the special point that you are speaking of the animals having no soul? You eat meat or I eat rice, that doesn't matter. Eating is there. That is a common thing. We cannot say the animal does not eat or man does not eat. Only animal eats. No, everyone eats. First of all, you enunciate. How do you say that the human being has got soul and the animal has not soul? What is the special symptom?
His point was that only in humans do we find a metaphysical search for the meaning of life.
Yes.
And that's the only difference.
The metaphysical search now, metaphysically search out. Why do you deny soul in the human being, in the animal? That is metaphysical. It is metaphysical question. What is your metaphysical study about the living animals that you say that there is no soul? Come to the metaphysical. You are thinking metaphysically, that's all right. But if you are still thinking like animals, then what is the use of your metaphysical studies? If you are thinking like the animals, where shall I get my food? Where shall I take shelter? Where shall I have a sexual facility? How shall I defend? If you are thinking like that, this is animal thinking. Metaphysical thinking means beyond this. Beyond this thinking of eating, sleeping, mating and defending. That is metaphysical. So what you are thinking beyond that, that is God consciousness. When a human being thinks about God, that is metaphysical. When he thinks like animals about eating, sleeping, mating and defending, that is not metaphysical. Metaphysical. What do you mean by metaphysical? First define. What is the meaning of meta? Above physical.
This finger is part and parcel of my body.
Yes.
but its business is to serve the body. I ask the finger, come here.
Yes.
It is doing like that.
Yes.
I ask the finger to come here.
Yes.
It is doing, so it is the business of the finger
Yes.
is to serve
Yes.
the whole.
Yes.
It is part, and the body is the whole.
Yes.
So therefore, the business of the part and parcel is to serve, render service to the whole. This is natural condition.
Yes.
C'est la condition naturelle de partie,
ça.
de rendre service à
C'est ça.
complet.
Yes. I agree with this.
Let me finish.
Yes. And I think that the vocation of its creature is the service of God.
Yes.
Yes. The service
So
of God.
when the living entity forgets this business, that is material life.
That is. Oui.
Il dit que
Quand il n'y a pas de service, oui.
quand l'être vivant oublie
C'est ça,
cette
c'est la vie.
position,
Alors
c'est
c'est
ça,
le
la
mal.
vie matérielle.
Alors c'est ça. Alors c'est ça.
Therefore in this material world,
Yes.
we find almost everyone
Yes.
has forgotten God.
Donc dans le monde matériel, nous trouvons c'est tout le monde qui a oublié Dieu.
C'est cela.
The conclusion is that this material world is created
Created.
for the forgotten souls.
La
Côté
conclusion, oui, la conclusion, c'est que ce monde matériel existe seulement pour les âmes qui ont oublié
You
leur
want to
relation
be-
avec Dieu.
Yes.
And here the business is to again revive them to God consciousness.
Et notre devoir dans ce monde, c'est de raviver cette
C'est
conscience.
conscience de Dieu. Yes.
So the process of enlightening the living entity, especially the human being, because in the animal form of life, one cannot be enlightened. Neither the animal can understand
No can understand. Yes.
what is God.
Yes. 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 It's true.
It is only the human
Yes.
being
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
who can understand. If he
Yes.
is trained,
Yes. Yes. It's true.
then he can come to God
Yes.
consciousness.
Yes. Yes. It is true.
So this creation is meant for the forgotten souls
Yes.
to give them a chance
Yes.
for reviving their God consciousness.
Yes.
C'est clair?
Yes. It is true. It is very, very clear.
Yes.
Very clear. Yes.
And for this business, sometimes God personally comes, sometimes He sends His representative, His son, or His devotee, His servant. This is going on.
Yes.
God wants that these forgotten souls
Yes.
should come back to home, back to God.
Yes. Return. Yes.
Therefore, from His side,
Yes.
there is constant endeavor
Yes.
to revive their God consciousness.
Yes. Yes. Very conscious.
Now, this God consciousness can be awakened in the human form of life,
Yes.
not in other form of life.
Not to deserve. Yes.
Maybe very rarely, but the human being, what is the water?
You said he was coming with it.
The human being has got the prerogative
Yes.
to awaken his dormant God consciousness.
Yes.
C'est le droit exclusif de l'être humain.
Yes. Yes.
So the best service to humanity is to awaken their God consciousness.
Yes, it is true. It is true. But the commandment practical can be various.
That's like God. If God says that you can do this, that is not sin. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Translation. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what his influences are.
Tat kshetram idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti avidhiyate. So Krishna has already explained. Kshetra means idam shariram. Shariram means this body. Tat kshetram. First of all, you have to understand this body or any field of action, anywhere, the three things are there. The field of activities, the owner of the field, and the supervisor of the field. You can check and tally anywhere. So Krishna says, Chetragam Jam Chapi Mang Vidhi. There are two Chetragam and one Chetra. One field of activity and two personalities, Chetragam. One is to be supposed as occupier and the other is supposed to be the owner. Just like in this house, we are occupier. The house is Chetra, field of activities. The landlord is the owner and we are the occupier. Two Chetragam. This property is interest for two persons. One is the occupier and the other is the owner. Similarly, anywhere, any part of the world, anywhere you go, you will find these three things. One, the field of activities, and the other two means one occupier and one owner. If one understands these three things, and he can study everywhere these three things, then Chetragayo Jad Jnanam, this knowledge to understand everywhere that there is a field of activity and two persons are interested in that field of activity. One is the owner, other is the occupier. If you study these three things only, then Tad Jnanam, that is knowledge. Otherwise all rascals and fools. That's all. Matang mama. This is Jnanam. But ask anybody at the present moment who is the owner, who is the occupier, and what is the field of activities. If you ask three things, nobody will be able to answer. That means everyone is rascal at the present, but they do not know. Kshetra gayo jad jnanam. Krishna says, this relationship between the field of action and the owner, just like in agriculture, the land is owned by the state or the king, and it is rented or occupied by somebody else. And the land is the field of action. So, Krishna is giving direction. Krishna is giving direction and the living entity is there, he is acting according to that direction. So both Krishna and the living entity are sitting in one tree that is stated in the Upanishad. The two birds are sitting in one tree. One is eating the fruit of the tree and other is simply witnessing. The witnessing bird is Krishna, and the bird who is eating the fruits of the tree, he is the living entity. The Mayavadi philosopher, they cannot distinguish between the Jiva soul, Jivatma and Paramatma. They know it, but because they are monists, to establish their theory, they say there is no two, there is one. So, Krishna says, two, one Kshetraga, the Jivatma, and the other Kshetraga, he is Krishna. The difference between the two is that the individual living entity knows only about his kshetra or body, but the other living entity, the supreme living entity, he knows all the bodies, every. So, material nature is actually the field of activities in our conditioned life. We have manasasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. In the 15th chapter, you'll find it. Thus, who are these living entities? We. So Krishna said, Mamaivamsa. They are all my parts and parcels. Similarly, we are all sons of God. Mamaivans, Jiva, Sanatana, Sanatana. Sanatana means eternal. It is not that we are now part and parcel and after liberation we will become one or equal, the Mayavadi theory. No, that is not. Therefore this very word is used, Sanatana, eternal. Eternally we are part and parcel. Then why they are not with you? Why they are here in this material world? The manasasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. They have preferred to enjoy this material world, to lord it over the material world. Therefore, mind and senses, manasasthani indriyani, with this senses and mind, karshati. Manasasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. Karshati means struggling. Struggle for existence. This is our position. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Now we have given up by misuse of our independence. We wanted to imitate Krishna. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So when we become envious of Krishna, tanaham dishata kruran, the demons are envious. They want to become Krishna. Therefore you will find so many demons. They will say, why Krishna is alone God, I am God, you are God. All of us, we are God. So they are demons. So demons cannot be allowed in the spiritual world. They are sent in this material world. Just like in some places, I have heard in Europe there are many places where the gamblers and the drunkards, without any license, they can go on with their business. Is there any place like that? Huh?
Yes.
What is the name?
Monte Carlo.
Yes. So, we are given this place, Monte Carlo. Go on with your sinful activities without any license. Go on. Demons, they will not hear. They will not accept Krishna as the advisor, instructor. Namang duskitanam mudha prapadanti naradhava maya aparita jnana asuri bhavamasita. The asuri bhavamasita means demons. There are two classes of men, demon and God. Not the Godhead, God. Those who are Vaishnavas means obedient to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are also God or godly. And those who are not obedient, they are demons. This is the difference between demon and God or God. So there are two classes of men always in this material world. In the spiritual world, there are gods, godly. Krishna is the Godhead and all living entities there, they are godly. So, in the spiritual world, there is no facility for the demons. Therefore, when Krishna likes to fight, because after many, many years, not fighting, because in the spiritual world there is no fight, all obedient servant, where is the possibility of fighting? Therefore sometimes he comes here to fight with the demon. Just to get the body fit. Yes. Therefore sometimes when there are a scarcity of demons, some of the devotees, they come and become a demon, not become demon. Just Krishna wants to fight, so without demon, how Krishna will fight? Therefore they play the part of demon. So that Krishna, that means they want to serve Krishna. Krishna wants to, just like sometimes big men, they keep some wrestlers to make mock fight. Similarly, to serve Krishna, Krishna has desire to fight, so they come down. and become just like a demon and fighting. Just like Hiranyakashipu. They were Jai Vijay, attendant in Vaikuntha. But Krishna wanted to fight. So therefore they came down and became demons like Hiranyakashipu, Rama, and fought with. This is, Krishna has all the desires. Otherwise, this fighting desire where from we get, unless it is there in Krishna. There is. Janmadasya jata. Everything that we find here, that is in Krishna. Therefore, Krishna has got 12 different kinds of relationship. Akhila rasamrita. Krishna is the reservoir of all kind of rasa. Sometimes fighting is also pleasing. Therefore, the fighting spirit is there in Krishna. And we have got also that fighting spirit also in small quantity. We can fight also, but Krishna can also fight. But when Krishna fights, the opposite party means finished. When we fight, that is different. I may be finished or he may be finished. That is different. So this is the position. Therefore Krishna in the next says, Tat khetrang jacha jadrik. How these kshetra, different types of body, they cannot explain. The so-called scientists, they cannot explain why there are different types of bodies. There are 8,400,000 different types of bodies. And the human race, they are 400,000. These 400,000 are distributed all over the universe. On this planet, maybe some thousand, not 400,000. Not all of them are here. Here also, in the human forms, we find so many differences. The Europeans, the Americans, the Africans, the Indians, the Chinese, different forms. That also can be counted, maybe 100, 200 different types of forms of human. But there are 400,000. 400,000. That is the human race. And 8 million other forms. 8 million. The aquatics, the trees, the plants, the grass, and the insects. We have experienced how many different types of insects are there in Mayapur. During night, so many different types of insects come to the fire, to the light. This is another illusion. These insects, they are coming, being attracted by the beauty of the light. The electric light, it is not open. Otherwise, these insects come in the burning fire and die. Beauty, captivated by the beauty of the fire. So actually it is going on. We are attracted by the beauty of Maya, and exactly we are falling to the fire and die. So there are so many instructions. Even if you study simply these 8,400,000 different kinds of. So how to study them? Krishna is explaining. Tat kshetram. Tat kshetram means that kind of body. There are so many. Tat kshetram jacha jadri. How they have attained different types of body. The soul is there. Soul, we have already explained, is the kshetrajna. But except the followers of Vedic knowledge, nobody knows. Just like the Christian people, they say there is no soul of the animals. Have you not? Kshetrajna. Soul is there, everywhere. But they have got their different types of body. Therefore Krishna says, Tat kshetrang jacha jadriksha. How they have got different. Krishna has already explained in the 15th chapter. They are all Krishna's part and parcel. In another place, Krishna says, Sarvujyonishu kaunteya sambhavanti murtaya tasang mahajjani brahma aham bija pradapika. He is the seed-giving Father. Therefore, all living entities are Krishna's part and parcel. It is foolishness to say that other living entities, other than the human being, they have no soul. It is foolishness. They have got soul. I mean, even the ant has got soul, even the microbe has got soul, even the germ has got soul, everyone has got soul. But they have got different types of bodies, outward. Therefore Krishna says, Jatcha jadrikcha.